Okay, so part two of Eat, Sleep, Drink Cricket. We continue with the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy discussion. So हमारा 5 टेस्ट का रिव्यू हो चुका है कि what happened, the emotions are done, we're closed with it. अब क्या हो जाता है कि as Indians we always want to see what India is doing, how do we take it forward, all those discussions, right? So primarily one of the thing is I wanted to let all the audience also know that this is Avijit's idea that we should actually review every person in every player, what is their role, how have they performed, what do you see as the future, and then same goes for the support staff and all those stuff. So we can have varied opinions, so we all will participate because everybody wants to speak on this topic. So what I'm doing is the first starting point is, okay, so let me just see what is our starting point. Our starting point would be on India as a whole. Are you satisfied with its performance? And or let's say we can go to the player review. What do you think? I think let's not waste our time on this one. Let's go player by player and then take it forward from there. And we should also keep Bhaskar informed that while he was wearing his headset, me and Avijit ranted a lot about you. आपके बारे में काफी भला बुरा बोला हमने. वो ऑफलाइन आपको बताएंगे.
नहीं,
Anyways,
दोबारा बोल दो यार।
नहीं 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 अभी तो रिकॉर्डिंग हो रहा है ना. Anyways, so we'll start player by player. So the first player, so the captain and the coach will do it separately at the end, but we'll take the captain as a player also, right? So I am first going with the batters whom we had. So the batters whom we had, or the opening top order, was three players I want to talk about. One is Jaiswal, one is KL Rahul, and one is Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Now KL Rahul and Jaiswal played all 5 tests and they got some results, whatever it is. Abhimanyu could not play. Now we all know that Abhimanyu is being sitting on the benches for the last 20 or rather three years, and around 20 odd players have made their debuts. This popular meme fest which goes on. But the fact is, we have to remember that how many, except Jaiswal, no other opening batsman has come after Abhimanyu Ishwaran. So there's no point in talking about Abhimanyu Ishwaran in that way. But he contributed a lot on the field. Even in the Oval Test match, the last day he came, काफी slide wide करके run वन बचाया उसने. So there is a contribution. So I'll start with you, Avijit, because it is your favorite topic. What do you think you want to rate these three top order batsmen?
So yeah, Abhimanyu Ishwaran you already covered. Yeah. In such a close series, it is the catch drops and misfields which is remembered more. The only reason Abhimanyu Ishwaran has not got chances is because he doesn't score much in the side games before the major series. Australia series se pehle jo side games, the reason why Sai Sudarshan has jumped ahead of him in the queue or Nitish Reddy is because in the high visibility games like the IPL, they are visible. Ishwaran is not visible in the IPL, hence there's no public demand for him. But having said that, and again you covered that point, is that it is not that any other opener has jumped the queue. KL Rahul is being now counted amongst the best openers which India has played in Sena, or rather the best openers who have played in Sena. One of the best openers who've played in England. KL Rahul is counted there. Jaiswal is counted amongst he's being taken at level of Sehwag the way he started off. So there is no doubt that KL Rahul has matured a bit late in his career. We expected more things from him earlier, but both have done tremendously well. But for Jaiswal, I have one point to add. I actually collated some stats, and Jaiswal scoring big runs, 50s, 100s is good. I'm worried about the days when he doesn't score a big run. And it's fine to fail. Every player is going to fail eventually, and going to fail a lot of times. Maybe 30% of the 40% of the times you're going to fail. The problem is the day when he fails, he gets out within 10 to 15 balls. So a job of an opener in Sena countries is to blunt the new ball. That is the first job. So that it becomes easier for the rest of the batting lineup to come and play the older ball, especially here in the Duke's ball. If you can see off the ball the first 20, 25 overs, after that, it is nothing. So I don't mind Jaiswal scoring a 10 run or a 15 run, but I want him to score that 10 run or 15 run out of 50, 60 balls. If I 50-60 ball, खेल के 10 run में out, I don't mind that at all, because he's done his primary job. So what is happening is, again, I said I compiled the last series in South Africa, the last series in Australia, and this series in England. Out of 24 innings, if I'm not wrong, out of 24 innings, in 12 innings, he's got out playing less than 25 balls. I think that is one area where he has to work on. Else, he's a perfect player. There's nothing else he needs to. And let's not forget, even in this in the last test, Oval Test last innings, had one of his catches been taken, he would have been out within playing less than 25 balls. So I think that is an area we have no doubt. Outside Sena, he's a monster. We know in subcontinent and all, he'll be scoring runs for fun. KL Rahul is the new Monk now. Monk last time Murli Vijay ko bolte the, but KL Rahul has taken up that mantle, and he actually looks the best and most compact of all batsmen. When KL Rahul is in crease in the Sena series, he didn't look like getting out. Every other batsman looked like getting out at some point, but not KL Rahul. So we are very happy that he's flawed so late, but flawed so. Even in Champions Trophy, he had a significant role in us, winning that entire tournament in a place like Dubai, where historically we've never done well. I'm very positive Gautam Gambhir camp will give Ishwaran the chance. He may get it in the home series because they do value each player and they do give them chances. So Ishwaran will get his chance. Rajiv.
Great. One question I had about Jaiswal. Now, will Jaiswal himself, will he feel that he's, look, the high standards he set for himself, do you think he himself would be very disappointed?
He should be.
400 plus runs is good. I mean,
400 plus runs and good, but let's not forget the last century. There were some three catch drops of him. He will be aware of these things, and again, as I keep saying all the time, I've been saying this for 20, 30 years. If we can avoid being 40 for three, we are going to win a whole lot of matches, even in Sena countries. And the 40 for 3 can only be addressed when the initial 10, 15 overs you play how like KL Rahul does. He immaculately he stands, he leaves the ball, he's patient personified. He's patient like that. Jaiswal needs to have that sense of patience. I know he can run away with matches. It's a fact that Oval May he ran away with the match in that innings, and Akashdeep, of course, who gave him company. But yeah, Jaiswal will know he's made a better in a series where Shubman Gill bet at the start of the series. If we had predicted who's going to make a whole lot of runs, हम शुभमन गिल शायद टॉप 2-3 में नहीं रखते, हम जायसवाल को शायद रखते, मे बी टॉप में जायसवाल राहुल में से किसी को रखते. So if Shubman Gill has made 700 something, Rahul has made 500, Jaiswal's 400 actually looks like a bit of an underperformance. Rajiv.
yeah, good points. Sagar, you can talk about Jaiswal, KL Rahul if you have any point additional you want to add on. But I want you to
No,
focus on
nothing. I think
I want you
he's
to focus on
good well.
Shubman Gill and Karun Nair. They are the two other batters, special batters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I'll come. Nothing about. I think very well. I mean, with the stats and everything, very pertinent stat actually on Jaiswal. But again, I think just one word for Jaiswal. I think this will be a huge learning experience for him. The fact that he had scored all these runs will only help him in future and plan the next Sena country trip. So he will now know exactly what Avijit was saying. He will now exactly know how to score runs without being looking vulnerable in the first 10 balls. That's I think the only thing. I mean he should. This is an experience. This is the experience at times we all want players to think. So about Karun Nair, I'll come to Karun Nair first because for whatever. So Karun Nair, he has some tinker. I mean, all that skeptic post and all that, but with after all that, there are two ways of doing this. You can write a skeptic post on a social media, and then immediately you go back and have fun because आपका जो लिखना था तो आप सोशल मीडिया में लाखों लोगों को लिख के इमोशन ले लिए बट उसके साथ आप how much did you back up? See, the same thing has happened with even Prithvi Shaw. He's written some cryptic posts, but is he backing it up? I don't think so now, as of now. But anyways, so let's not. So he backed it up. He actually went to a second division English side, not even a county side. He was a second division county, and he was playing with some people. He was the first foreigner in that county, by the way. I am forgetting the name. It came out in Crickbuzz. So I was checking. So he was the first foreigner that the county ever, and he had actually taken that jump of doing it because he said, I do not want to get out of touch. So, anyways, with Karun Nair coming after 7, 8 years, I think he deserved what he has got. Uh, what Now, this is exactly what he has done and what Jaiswal couldn't. Karun Nair, yes, he got out, and a lot of people blamed him for the Lord's debacle because of the way he left that ball. But it's okay. But he actually played on an average 60, 70 balls every innings, coming at number three. So I think that's where he did well. He scored an amazing 50. Coming back to India, I have a doubt that he will be in the team, but will he be in the 11? It's a bit of a doubt when it comes to the home series because their Sai Sudarshan somehow looks the person for the future. But yes, in case of an injury, I think Karun will be around. Coming to Shubman Gill, nobody. I mean, he had one of the worst test records outside the subcontinent. In fact, a lot of people said it was too early at 25 to give him. A lot of people said no, he will not be able to. On the contrary, he will also mess up his captaincy. So, two parts of it. I will come to the captaincy part of it. There is lot to learn for Shubman
No,
Gill when it comes to captaincy. Acha, okay,
captaincy will
fine,
take it
fine, fine.
later. आप
Ah,
बैटर्स का
so
बताइए.
in the batting side of it, I mean, crazy. 700 odd runs, second just behind Sunny Gavaskar, crossing the great Gary Sobers. Everything said and done, he never looked like getting out except in the third test. Third test, he looked very vulnerable for whatever reasons, because of sudden emotion which had spilt over England coming late to bat and all that. But overall, as a batsman, I think this is the future of Indian batting. This is the future of Shubman Gill. And I can very, very, very boldly say Shubman Gill will end his career close to 10,000 runs. He will close his career close to 10,000 runs, if not more. So I think this is just the start. Rajiv.
Anything about Sai Sudarshan? He's also the specialist batter. He played three
Uh,
tests.
Sai, yes, Sai was Sai is not just a T20 player because a lot of people only took notice of him in the IPL. No, 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 he was not there. I mean, he was there in the IPL last year also, but he only got to play, I guess, 2 matches. Didn't do well. He went back. One of the coaches, Sai Sudarshan's coaches, was in fact in one of the interviews was saying that he actually played. He made a target of playing around 3,000 balls every 2 days. 3,000 balls. So that was the target which he had set for himself, which is like says something about that person. He has, again, for Sena countries, he has some technical frailties, which is okay. He overcame that. He had a definite leg side ploy, which Ben Stokes actually did exploit. He overcame that by the fifth test had come in. But I think he is one for the future, but we should not jump the gun immediately. Let's wait and watch. There are other people around the corner also. I please don't count Shreyas Iyer out immediately. So that's what I said. And Shreyas Iyer is not a
We'll come to the
35-year-old guy.
we'll come to the way
Hmm,
forward also on this one.
hmm, hmm,
So my own take is so good points. I think Shubman Gill point you really made it correct that we did not expect him to be there. Avijit also said probably not even in the top three batters, but he went there confidently. He said, "I will be the best batsman. I want to be the best batsman," and I think that was a very good statement to make and make 750 runs. Hats off to him, 400s, unstoppable now. You can know that, and the way if the run out had not happened in the first innings, then it could have, in fact, the oval test could have been slightly different. But anyways, these all things happen. Now I'll come to Bhaskar and I'll give his favorite two people to talk about. So his favorite two people are Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin. Ravichandran Ashwin has retired, but it's like a like to like replacement. Even the concussion replacements also can't get such a like to like replacement by getting Washington Sundar And so these two created that buzz for India, right? Especially Jadeja. So I want you to speak about Jadeja and Washington and what do you see for them in the future?
See, Ravindra Jadeja is one of the all-time greats of the game. Whatever people might say, but we talk about players taking wickets in home conditions and not taking wickets overseas. That's the problem Ravindra Jadeja has had. But the kind of strike rate and average he has in India is absolutely astounding. With that, his batting has come up very well of late. Last 5 years, he's probably one of India's best batsmen over the last 5 years. I think Rishabh Pant is India's number one batsman in the like last 5 years, and I think number two is Ravindra Jadeja. He scored more runs than Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma or any of those players who gave up. He's on the same age as Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, and he's still going strong. He's as fit as ever. So I think Jadeja's batting has really improved unbelievably. Like we thought he should be batting much better, probably 10 years like like when he had come in, like 10 years back when he was probably in the start of his career. We thought he should be batting much better because he's got three triple hundreds in first class cricket. Whatever the
दस
kind of
साल
pitch.
10 साल से आप ये सौराष्ट्र के साथ वो 3 ट्रिपल 100s का बोलते हैं रहते हैं अब जाके
नहीं नहीं,
अब जाके
300
वो
मारना
ना
कोई
मीम
भी पिच
टाइप
में
हो
आसान
गया.
नहीं है. 300 मारना कोई भी पिच पे आसान नहीं है. You don't have, see, Sachin doesn't have a single triple hundred. So I think he has that kind
यार
of
ये गलत है यार, ये गलत है. रविंद्र जडेजा को ग्रेड दिखाने के लिए तेंदुलकर को मतलब पीछे से ऐसा
नहीं
ये
नहीं
अंडर द
मैं
बेल्ट हो गया.
मैं क्या
अभिजीत याद
बात
रखो, आप भगवान को गाली दिया इसने.
Yeah.
गाली थोड़ी दिया है. सचिन का एक ट्रिपल हंड्रेड है विनोद कांबली के साथ पार्टनरशिप में. ठीक है, हो गया. स्कूल. Okay, so what I mean to say is like Jadeja is such a vital cog now. So I think he's one of India's best batsmen. We have to just forget about his bowling and think that we are playing him as a batsman. So I think that's where he is going to go a long way. He's probably one of the best all-rounders we have seen in the last 15 years in world cricket. Uh, I don't know. Probably Shakib would probably beat him to the post because of him being one of the senior batsmen in the Bangladesh team. Because he scores more runs and he probably bats up the order. But for that, I think Jadeja is just getting there. So I think another two years, I think Jadeja should be there in the team. This World WTC cycle, I think Jadeja can complete because I think when the tests happen in India, I don't know what kind of pitches we're going to prepare after what happened against New Zealand. Washington Sundar, I think he's a brilliant batsman, great fighter, but his bowling has to improve a lot. I wouldn't say he's a like for like replacement for Ravichandran Ashwin because Ashwin is one of the all-time greats of the game, one of the greatest spin bowlers of all times. So I think Washington Sundar has to work a bit more on his spin bowling and his bowling to really fill in Ashwin's spot. But for that, I think Washington Sundar is really a great fighter. He plays well under pressure. I think those are real good character. Like
I think
Freeze,
he's frozen.
freeze,
Freeze
better
freeze.
again.
Okay.
because
Crack.
we saw him bowl very well against New Zealand. He was India's best spin bowler in that disastrous series. So I think he's going to improve a lot as days go by. Rajiv.
एक सच बात बताओ, वो जो न्यूजीलैंड वाला सीरीज आपको बहुत दुखा है ना, मतलब दैट इज गिवन यू अ लॉट ऑफ हार्ट बर्न.
Absolutely. Because we had no
कमेंट
And
फॉर
business
द.
to
and
lose New Zealand there.
we
3-0.
had no business to lose it. 3-0. And I'll tell you, Rajiv, I mean, the home series will start from now on. You will not see those rank turners again.
Yeah. I think it is a. Anyway, so now let's come to the. I'll come to you, Avijit. So I'm going to speak about two people. Uh, One is Nitish Kumar Reddy, and the next is Shardul Thakur. Now these two, India has a fascination of creating these fast bowling all rounders and all. And I want you to include Akashdeep in this, but Akashdeep आप bowler की तरह ही बात करें. But Nitish Kumar Reddy had a great 100 in Melbourne. हल्का सा taper off हो गया. His IPL was very poor. And what has also happened is Shardul was taken because he did very well in England. Apart from that, when he went and played that side game, and that's the reason why he played the first test ahead of Nitish Kumar Reddy, because the side game he performed. So what is your take on them with so much home series? Do you see they continuing? What is your whole assessment? And then please bring in the Akashdeep factor also.
Yeah, so Abhi, whenever assuming we had lost the series 3-1, the Gambhir management would have come under huge scanner. And huge scanner aata, and they will still under the scanner now for playing a lot of these what we call bits and pieces cricketers. Okay, so I think Gambhir likes the batting to be deep. He likes bowling options. In fact, in one of the tests we were playing six bowlers. I don't recall in our history how many times have we had six bowling options. I think in the Manchester test we had six bowlers. So this is what Gambhir is. Now some will be a hit, some will be a miss. We expected more from Shardul Thakur. But I can't understand if Gill didn't have confidence in Shardul Thakur's bowling abilities. Why was he, in the squad in the first place? So Shardul Thakur may not play for India again, and he has done wonders. I mean, when anybody questions me, fortunately you introduced me, Rajiv. You introduced me to people like Sagar and Kunal and all who are very passionate about cricket and who are not ranting all the time. But if you recall during this series, there were a lot of people who were ranting. Shardul is not international class. बस मैं बोला कि okay, Shardul is not international class. Text me name of one player in the history of cricket who's won you a match with bat and ball in Australia and England. With bat and ball in England, with bat and ball. एक आदमी का नाम मुझे बोल दो in history of cricket. People struggled. Please don't call anybody as non-international. They are our players, they are our people, and they deserve to be where they are. But so thank you to Shardul, but I don't think Shardul will be playing another game in Indian Test colors. So Nitish Reddy was also under the same bracket, bits and pieces players bracket में उसको ला गया था. Anshul Kamboj को भी लिया गया था. I think Anshul Kamboj was a bit of a disappointment. I don't know what they saw with him in the nets, but his bowling, batting both came a disappointment. But we know he has a future, so he'll go back and work. I don't see Anshul Kamboj doing in the home series also. Nitish Reddy is interesting, but again, in the same bracket of this, bowling, batting, deep करने के चक्कर में, we made two gains. One is Washington Sundar. When we talk of Jaiswal's 400 runs in 5 test matches, Washington Sundar scored 280 runs in 4 test matches. So Washington Sundar has been, and he bats with the tail. So Washington Sundar is now becoming the heir apparent to Jadeja. So Sundar is a big gain out there. Akashdeep is the big gain out there. Akashdeep could be the next Shardul Thakur. He may not be taking because I realize in some matches he takes a truckload of wickets. In some matches he struggles to take even one wicket. So that happened with Akashdeep. In one match he took 10 wickets. I think the other 2 matches combined he's taken 3 wickets, if I'm not wrong. And those 2 matches in Lords and Oval were the pitches which helped the most to the fast bowlers. But I think both those tests combined, Akashdeep has 3 to 4 wickets, not more than that. And another test he took 10 wickets. But then he scored a masterly 50, which was a big difference in this entire series. So Akashdeep is there to stay. Nitish Reddy, I don't know where Nitish Reddy will go, but in the home series, they may not be preferred. Home series, we have our Aksar Patel. That's why I say, when I talk about Sai Sudarshan and Karun Nair, yes, Karun Nair played 60, 70 balls. I agree. And, but Karun Nair's average before the last test was actually below Bryden Carson now. Of all the list of 14 batsmen with both teams, his average was amongst the lowest. So he has, because these are flat pitches you're talking about. Not only the flat pitches you're talking about competition behind. Sai Sudarshan has played 6 innings. Out of 6 innings, he has 2 ducks, and in 1 innings, he made less than 20 runs. These will all be factored when they are analyzed. Ishwaran is sitting in the squad. Shreyas Iyer is there back home. And then the Gaikwads and Padikals and I don't know, there's a whole ocean of talent. You have to grab these chances, else you cannot complain later. आपको फिर 8 साल बाद tweet करना पड़ेगा, cricket give me a chance. I'm speaking same for Sai Sudarshan also. You give Ishwaran one chance, he scores a century. You can't drop him off. So Karun Nair backed that chance with the 50. I agree that Karun Nair's 52 is as important as his 300 which he had scored. But that people like you and me understand. एक महीना बाद ना people will forget all the सिर्फ averages देखेगा. And his next failure, everybody will say drop him. So that's where you have to take the chance, which I say, like Dravid, like Ganguly, they took their chances when it came. 1996, we had a weak team. There was no pipeline of players, yet they took the chance which they got and they cemented their place. You have to be as ruthless as that. I have no doubt Karun, Sai Sudarshan, Ishwaran, if they get a chance in home series, especially with the background of a team full of buzzing confidence, full of gung-ho, they will be scoring big runs. But whether they will get the chance is the big important question, because there's too much talent. We are talking, बस शार्दुल ठाकुर retire हो जाएगा, नीतीश रेड्डी को शायद chance नहीं मिलेगा, Anshul Kamboj needs to go back to a nets in a series where we did very well. where there is competition for places, you have to. And let's not forget, in between there is a Champions Trophy coming up. Champions Trophy में कौन प्लेयर कितना शाइन
Asia
कर
Cup.
जाएगा,
Asia Cup.
सॉरी
एशिया
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 कप, एशिया कप का कौन प्लेयर कितना शाइन कर जाएगा, उस वो फिर आ जाएगा डिस्कशन. You never know. Abhishek Sharma may be scoring truckload of runs there, and then he comes into discussion. So you have to take your chances. When you're playing in pitches where Shubman Gill scoring 700 runs, you have to at least score 400, 500 to keep your spot alive in the team. Rajiv.
Right, right. Great points. And I agree, Shardul. But Shardul is a good utility player. People should understand that. उसने गैबा टेस्ट जिताया, ओवल टेस्ट जिताया, जिसमें उसने बैटिंग बॉलिंग दोनों किया उसने. So good guy he is. So Sagar, I'm now coming
And
to
just
you.
about Akashdeep, before I'll just finish off on one Akashdeep point. Akashdeep, just like Chris Brooks, had injured his right bowling arm,
Yeah,
shoulder to be also precise, while fielding in mid-on. So he was actually playing with injections also. So थोड़ा
we'll come
वहां
to
पे
that.
लीवे देंगे. Yeah.
आते हैं उसके बारे में. So अभी आप पकड़िए और जल्दी जल्दी खत्म कीजिए क्योंकि हमारे पास और भी टॉपिक्स हैं. The three fast bowlers whom India picked as their top three: Bumrah, Siraj, and Prasidh Krishna. I know Bumrah had to play only 3 tests, but these were your primary bowlers. आप उनके बारे में बताएं, उनके परफॉर्मेंसेस के बारे में बताएं.
देखिए बुमराह is once in a generation. Let's keep him aside. And I mean, just putting him into any discussion actually makes. I'll be very honest. It's a waste of time trying to dissect Bumrah. He's been done everything. The opponents, the world across all the teams and their video analysts have done everything they could, and they have not been able to make their batsmen score runs against Bumrah. So that's done. So let's not talk about Bumrah. The only thing, as we had a lot of people have said, uh, he may only play ICC trophies and tests going forward. And India plays the next five match series only 2 years later against Australia, that also at home. So उसके बीच जितना भी है दो टेस्ट मैच सीरीज का ही है. So he is okay, he'll fine. Coming to Shiraz, lion-hearted player, coming from the roots, coming from very basic background. This guy is actually an epitome of what your if you have a will, there was हम लोग छोटे से सीख के आए हैं ना. If there's a will, there's a way. This banda actually showed it. There was no way he was going to win India a match in Gabba. He did. There was no way he was going to win India after what happened. And cricket has this lovely way of giving you back. What happened in Lords when he played a perfect back foot forward defense back foot defensive shot. Ball rolled on. He got out. India lost. Cricket gave him the chance in the fifth test. Last wicket, he takes it. So, lion-hearted bowler, 187 overs. And by the way, the ball which he bowled Gus Atkinson was 143 kilometers per hour, which was in the 187 overs was his fifth fastest ball. It is not easy. वो गर्मी में after, I mean, I'll just tell you one thing, Rajiv. I mean, we don't even realize. Just try being out on the sun, doing nothing for 1 hour, just standing in the sun. See how tiring it becomes. This guy is bowling at 140 plus. So
मेरे को
that's
गर्मी में नहीं खड़ा
Shiraz
मेरे को
for you.
गर्मी में खड़ा नहीं होना है.
And that's Shiraz. Or the last one is Prasidh Krishna. Interesting case. I think he's as I said, he will be a person who will be India's. He will be someone India will who will win India a lot of matches. But abhi nahi. He'll have his time. He'll have to be picked and chosen in the right pitches so that he doesn't lose his temperament. By the way, Indian BCCI has already called over five Indian fast bowlers. That is not Shiraz. मियाँ साहब तो अभी शायद कोई बीच बीच में टोपी वोपी पहन के पिना कोलाडा पी रहे होंगे. So that's fine. He deserves it. But five of the Indian bowlers have been called in the NCA and MRF Pace Academy. I'm sorry, in the MRF Pace Academy. I read something somewhere. So BCCI is doing everything right. He needs to be nurtured. He can be. I'm telling you, he can be. I'm not very sure, but he can be an Ishant Sharma maybe 2 years later. But वो 2 साल उसको देना पड़ेगा. But again, in those 2 years, we have enough people lined up. Anshul Kamboj was bad. It was unfair on him. आपको flight से उतर के I think Bhaskar has been to US. I know he'll tell you how it feels when you travel across the world and suddenly get down and you're asked to go to office the next morning. You feel something completely different. Forget about playing a cricket match. So I think all in all, the pace battery is, I won't say very good, but it is decent. If nurtured well, can become very good. And Bumrah has to be, actually, we'll allow Bumrah to pick and choose. That's my point of view.
Great. So, Bhaskar, I'm now coming to you. I want you to talk about Rishabh Pant, Jurel, and Jagadishan was picked out of nowhere. I don't know why he was picked, but he was. And now, one batsman actually we forgot is KL Rahul. Yeah, probably we spoke about KL Rahul. So
Yeah, I
I want you
spoke.
to speak about, yeah. So I want you to speak about Jurel and Rishabh Pant. How do you see Jurel playing? And Jagdishan has come suddenly, not the Ishan Kishan and all. So anything about the wicket keepers? What is your call?
See, Rishabh Pant is of course the first choice wicket-keeper batsman, especially in Test cricket, because he's probably the best keeper and he's notch above all the other batsmen. And I think the way he's been batting over the last 4 or 5 years, he's been India's best batsman. So I think there's no question about his position or anything. He played brilliantly. The unfortunate thing is whenever people keep making those statements, when Pant scores 100, India doesn't win. But these things keep happening. Like, but I think Pant is just in a different league. Probably he's surely going to go down in India's best wicketkeeper batsman of all time. He is surely already the best wicket batsman among all the wicket keepers we've had. So I don't see any problem there. Jurel, of course, is a very good alternative. If you remember the first Test match in Australia, he was picked as a pure batsman. So, and his temperament, he's got a great temperament. Of course, he's a different kind of player compared to Pant. So, I think once Pant is fit and playing, I think Jurel will have difficulty getting into the team. Like with Alan not in the team, Bob Taylor, in spite of being one of the best keepers of all, he hardly played because Alan Knott was an all-time great keeping for England during their golden period in the late 70s and 80s. So I think that's what's going to happen with Jurel. It will be a bit unfortunate, but he will have to bide his time and he will get chances only when Pant is unavailable. So the other option he has is to really become one of the senior batsmen and really score huge runs. I don't know whether he has it in him to become a pure batsman or else he will have to. And Jagdishan probably it was just they've been looking for players, keepers who can keep in Test cricket. Ishan Kishan was not available. So that's exactly the reason why they got Jagdishan because we don't have any other real wicket keepers in the pipeline. Sanju Samson is not really a full-time keeper who might be able to keep in Test cricket. So that's why they got Jagdishan in. He's been having a decent record and he's a frontline keeper. He's not a part-time keeper, so I think that's why they got him as a backup. Uh, and they didn't want KL Rahul to again be disturbed from the opening slot. I don't think now KL Rahul should be shuttled around. If he's there in the team, he should be given a position once. Now you've given him the opening slot, stick with him as an opener. If you're dropping him, it's a different thing altogether. Again, if you make him bat at number 5 and then go up again, and that's not something good for any player's career. So I think that's why I feel that's why Jagdishan was got. But I think that wicket keeping is one place I think we have a lot of backup. Ishan Kishan, if he's fit, can also come back. He has played a couple of Test matches. He's also a frontline keeper. So I think keeping wise, we are in safe hands. Rajiv.
Right. So we don't have much time, so I'm just going to throw up a few things. So one is I'm going to speak about Kamboj. Kamboj was, I think he was not given that fitness certificate. So somebody in BCCI or that selector made a mistake of evaluating him as being fully fit. And then Sagar mentioned about the jet lag also. So I think wrong call. So this should not happen again. I hope so. And you're also putting the youngster and मतलब he became a meme fest यार, फालतू में बन गया बेचारा. Somebody who's done well in domestic cricket, तो उसको वो टाइम देना चाहिए. Second is Arshdeep and you know
Kuldeep.
Kuldeep. Now Kuldeep should have ideally made his debut, or rather the playing 11 he should have been in Lords. But because in Birmingham you won with 8 batters and that combination fitted, I think Lords they went with the team, and that's why I think Kuldeep did not get picked. उसके बाद तो overcast conditions में getting him picked, he himself mentioned कि मैं नहीं pick हो सकता. So in the fifth test before the lineups. And Arshdeep would have got picked up in the fourth test, but he could not get because he was injured. And I don't think the team had the confidence that he could bowl 20 overs in innings. So that call has to be taken somewhere. But otherwise, I think they will make their debuts. As Abhijit, you mentioned, like Abhimanyu Ishwaran will make his debut at some point of time. I think these guys will also make their debut. And Kuldeep, anyways, is part of the home series, so there is no problem there. Now I'm coming to Sagar, you, and then finally we'll go to Abhijit. Sagar, you have only 1 minute to speak about Shubman Gill's captaincy.
As I said, Shuman has to take some time. I mean, सीखना पड़ेगा. I think he'll be good when it comes to home series with the spinners and everything. But he looked, especially when he to some extent looked a bit reactive than proactive. He has to, one word, we have to just hold our horses. Nobody was born as a captain. Nobody was born to lead, except a few, Dhoni maybe, but even he lost a lot of matches. So, yeah, I mean, maybe once he starts getting, now this series will help, but again, which he showed in the fifth day, and with a lot of people did not believe in it. But yeah, to take you forward on this, Gautam Gambhir's strategy was really good on the fifth day, and team selections a bit questionable. But when it came to strategy on the fifth day, it was wonderful. But yeah, on his captaincy, lot to be desired. But सीख जाएगा ऐसा कोई नहीं है कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है एक्सपीरियंस इज व्हाट विल काउंट ओवर हियर
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you that over a period from the first test to the fifth test, tactically he made a lot of moves. So good.
या
So
या
Avijit, you have exactly 1 minute and 20 seconds to talk about Gautam Gambhir and close this for us.
So Gautam Gambhir's selections part, many people have said, but I'll stress on two things. One is the management of players. Let's not forget England. A lot of Indian fans are giving sympathy to England. कि boss Stokes नहीं खेला, Wokes नहीं खेला, Archer नहीं खेला, Harmison नहीं खेला, David Gower नहीं खेला. Boss
मना
India
कौन
came.
किया था खेलने के लिए लाता
India came after a grueling IPL. Indian players played a grueling CT. There was a Champions Trophy, there was an IPL, and then this big series. Yet none of
या
our players broke down in between a test. So kudos to the support team for the way they kept these players fit and chose the 11 who will not break down in between a test. We have examples of 2011, 2014 when a player has broken